A prefab bunker company will charge you $50,000 minimum to deliver a steel tube by crane that every neighbor on your street watches get lowered into your yard. A shovel and $1,000 in lumber do the same job. The physics principle is this: 3 feet of dirt blocks 90% of gamma radiation, period. Doesn't matter what's underneath it. Today you're getting the complete plan to build an 8x10 hand-dug fallout shelter in your backyard that hits protection factor 250, survives EF5 tornadoes, and costs less than a used car. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step build you can execute over a weekend with materials from any hardware store. Start with the single physics principle that exposes the entire prefab bunker industry. Radiation attenuation depends purely on mass density overhead, not the price tag underneath it. Oak Ridge National Laboratory proved this in the 1960s. 3 feet of compacted earth provides protection factor 250 to 1,000 depending on geometry. Whether that dirt sits on top of a $50,000 corrugated steel arch or $400 of 2x8 lumber is irrelevant. The dirt does the work. You already own the dirt. Here's what prefab bunker companies are actually selling you. $50,000 gets you a steel tube delivered by crane, visible to every neighbor and HOA compliance officer in a half-mile radius. The engineering variable they are charging for is liability insurance, PE stamps, and profit margins that run 300 to 400% in the survivalist market. The actual material cost of that steel box is $3,000 to $5,000 for equivalent interior space. The ventilation system they market as NBC rated uses a $2,000 fan that moves the same cubic feet per minute as a $60 bilge blower. The functional equivalence is absolute. Both approaches achieve radiation protection through mass overhead. A corrugated steel arch with 3 feet of dirt performs identically to lumber framing with 3 feet of dirt for gamma radiation. Cold War civil defense explicitly validated expedient construction because physics does not discriminate by price point. The engineering in prefab systems solves durability problems 20-plus year service life. Not the immediate radiation protection problem. That's dirt, and dirt is free. Crescent Kearney wasn't a prepper blogger. He was a civil defense engineer at Oak Ridge National Laboratory during peak Cold War funding, tasked with solving one problem. How do you protect 200 million Americans who can't afford bunkers? His answer was expedient shelters built with hand tools, not because they were primitive fallbacks, but because the physics doesn't discriminate by construction method. His work remains in FEMA publication archives as a reference document. Most recent update, 2012. The pole-covered trench shelter design he validated used 5 to 6 inch diameter poles spanning 3 to 4 feet, covered with 3 feet of earth. He provided load calculations for untrained civilians. Poles spanning 3.5 feet can support 3 feet of earth, 200 pounds per square foot live load, with a 4-to-1 safety factor. This wasn't fringe research. It was the official federal recommendation. The 1959 publication, The Family Fallout Shelter, and the 1961 Fallout Protection both advocated basement reinforcement and backyard trench shelters. The government explicitly rejected the narrative that only expensive bunkers work because that narrative was strategically useless for national survival. The physics hasn't changed. Radiation attenuation formulas in 2025 are identical to 1960. Modern innovations in fallout shelters are comfort features and longevity improvements. The protection itself, that's still just mass overhead. Kearney proved you could build that mass support structure with lumber, hand tools, and dirt. We're using those exact principles. 2x8 lumber spanning 4 feet gives you the same load capacity his poles provided. Same engineering, same outcome. Fraction of the cost. Location selection has 3 non-negotiable rules. Stay away from trees, because roots will destroy your walls and waterproofing within 2 years. Put the shelter downhill from the house, so water drains away from the bunker, not into it. Keep it hidden from street view for operational security, or to avoid your HOA and property tax assessors. Pick your reason. Never dig under your house foundation. Never dig within 10 feet of a property line. The dirt math. 8 feet by 10 feet by 7 feet deep equals 560 cubic feet. That is 20 tons of soil moved by hand. Budget 2 to 4 weeks at 2 to 3 hours per day. Tools you need: 2 shovels, a pickaxe, a wheelbarrow, buckets, string, and stakes. Total cost, $150. Dig in 1-foot layers, not straight down. Walls collapse without support, and this is where amateur excavators die. Every 2 feet down, add 2x4 braces against the walls, $50 in lumber. Wall collapse equals buried alive. OSHA regulations exist because unsupported vertical walls at 6 feet deep exert up to 360 pounds per square foot of lateral pressure. That's not a guideline, that's physics that kills. Water table. Warning, if you hit standing water at 5 feet, stop. Pick a new location. Check county well records before you start. They are public and free. If your neighbor's wells are 30 feet deep, you are clear. If they're 8 feet deep, this project won't work without drainage systems that destroy your budget. The roof is the most critical structural element in this entire build. Use 2x8 Douglas fir lumber beams spaced continuously across the 8-foot span. Not 2x4s, not 2x6s, 2x8s. 3/4-inch plywood sheeting on top to distribute the load. Then 3 feet of compacted dirt. That dirt weighs 440 pounds per square foot when saturated, which is 3 tons of load pressing down on your lumber. The American Wood Council span tables are public data. 2x8s at 4-foot bearing spans handle this loading with adequate safety margin. 2x4s catastrophically fail. This is the difference between a functioning shelter and a collapsed grave. 3 feet of dirt cover gives you protection. Factor 250 plus against gamma radiation, absolute protection against EF5 tornado winds, and complete visual camouflage from overhead, but only if the structure underneath holds. Beam sizing is non-negotiable. Waterproofing costs $200 and determines whether this shelter lasts 5 years or 5 months. 6mm plastic sheeting over the plywood before the dirt goes on costs $40. Tar paper for extra sealing costs $30. Slope the dirt away from center so water drains off, not through cracks. Water infiltration plus wood equals ROT. ROT equals roof collapse under 3 tons of soil. This step isn't optional. Ventilation solves the air problem for $20. 2 4-inch PVC pipes through the roof. 1 intake positioned low and 1 exhaust positioned high. 90-degree elbows so rain does not pour straight in. Mesh covers keep bugs and mice out. Without ventilation, carbon dioxide buildup poisons you in 6 hours. With ventilation, you are fine indefinitely. Cost $20 in materials from any hardware store. Entry is a 45-degree sloped trench, 3 feet wide, not a vertical ladder shaft. You need to carry water jugs, supply boxes, and potentially injured family members. Wooden steps built from 2x6s or stacked concrete blocks work and cost $30 to $50. A solid wood door from Habitat Restore costs $60 used. Steel would be better, but steel costs $300 and breaks the budget. Interior finishing is the bare minimum. Battery-powered LED strip lights cost $15. A 5-gallon bucket with a toilet seat lid and trash bags costs $20. A plastic tarp for the floor costs $10. Plywood shelving mounted to the walls costs $40. Add a folding cot if space allows. This is not comfort. This is function. Full cost breakdown. Tools $150, though you'll use these again. Roof lumber and plywood $400. Waterproofing materials $200. Ventilation, PVC and fittings $20. Entry construction and door $80. Finishing supplies and miscellaneous hardware $150. Total $1,000. Protection delivered fallout shelter with protection. Factor 250 plus, blocking 97 to 99% of external gamma radiation. Absolute tornado protection. Being underground with 3 feet of earth cover exceeds ICC 500 wind resistance standards. Complete concealment. Plant grass on the mounded dirt and nobody knows it exists. Your neighbor paid $50,000 for a steel tube everyone watched get buried. You paid $1,000 for the same physics, hidden in your backyard. Built with your own hands over 4 weekends. You now have the complete plan that Crescent Kearney's Oak Ridge Engineering validated, FEMA still references, and physics guarantees will work. The prefab bunker industry is selling you the same 3 feet of dirt you already own at a 5,000% markup. That steel tube delivered by crane, it is a room underneath mass overhead. You just built the room yourself and used your own backyard dirt as the shield. First step, check your local water table using county well records. Confirm your soil is not sitting on bedrock or clay hardpan. Make sure your homeowners association covenants do not explicitly prohibit excavation. If those 3 checks pass, you can start digging this weekend with a shovel from Home Depot and the knowledge that the same radiation shielding formula used in Swiss civil defense doctrine does not care whether you spent $1,000 or $50,000. Your neighbor financed his bunker. You have $49,000 left over, a functioning fallout shelter that doubles as a tornado refuge, and the upper body strength of a 19th century coal miner. When fallout arrives, you both survive. He is making payments. You are debt-free with a hidden asset. No tax assessor knows exists. That is the difference between buying engineering and understanding physics.